Joining me now is Bill, a partner at Bain and Company. Bill helps companies across different industries with their digital transformation, covering technology, business strategy, and operations. Welcome, Bill.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me, Julia.
Absolutely. Now, since Bain and Company has been helping clients with their digital transformation and cloud adoption for, over a decade, I first wanted to start with asking you, what are some of the consistent trends you're seeing across your customer base?
Well, our firm has done a substantial amount of digital transformation work, and it gives us insights on how companies in different industries of different sizes in different parts of the world have taken on cloud adoption. In addition, for each of the past 10 years, Bain has conducted a cloud computing survey that asks IT leaders about their needs, pain points, emerging technologies, etc. There are a couple of trends I wanted to highlight based on this work. First, public cloud growth continues to outpace expectation. Forecasts generally underestimated by 30 to 50% in the recent years. COVID has further accelerated the growth in two ways. Companies are increasing cloud spend to meet immediate demand and increasing intent to migrate to the cloud. While some major transformations have been delayed, companies plan to accelerate them as they come out of the crisis. Second, complex environments are becoming a norm. Approximately 60% of surveyed companies are operating in what we call heterogeneous IT state. An additional 15% are in more advanced state we call true hybrid. Interestingly, many companies were not deliberate in their move to the cloud, but rather found themselves operating in complex environment across public cloud, private cloud, and edge. This frequently drives suboptimal cost profile, confusion in technical and business leadership, complexity, and ultimately at times repatriation of workloads back to legacy environment. Third, for many companies, it's becoming clear that the target state in the next 5 to 10 years is true hybrid. Over 50% of companies are planning for this.
That's super helpful context, seeing what you see across both research and your customer engagements. Obviously, Microsoft, we've long seen value in the hybrid cloud approach. But now you mentioned that only 15% of companies are operating in what you define as kind of this true hybrid environment. So what exactly does that mean?
That's a great question, Julia. There are lots of points of view in the industry around the term hybrid. Broadly, we define true hybrid companies as those with ability to use right environment for the right task and do so in an optimal, cost-efficient way.
Got it. So essentially, it makes, getting to that state where you have the full range of distributed environments that the customer can use that maximizes both the solution, but also the cost optimization. That makes a lot of sense. Now, so as customers have gotten to this true hybrid, what are some of the outcomes and the benefits that you're seeing them get?
Well, as they move up the learning curve operating in a true hybrid environment, we see they capture significant value, the type of value that can differentiate them relative to their competitors. Let me share a couple examples. Number one is improved time to market. True hybrid enables access to cloud vendor innovations while allowing interoperability with legacy environment. For example, our client, a multi-billion-dollar auto manufacturer, collects factory floor data with IoT devices, sends the data to public cloud where they run AI-driven algorithm, then pushes back results to the on-prem environment. Number two is the flexibility in managing cost and scale. For example, our client in healthcare management owns legacy, fully depreciated data centers that they don't want to let go of. True hybrid allows them to seamlessly burst end-of-month peaks into the cloud and avoid further data center capacity investments. Those are just a couple examples. There's a lot more benefits, of course.
No, that's a good couple examples to kind of make it real. So on that note, let's talk about some practical steps that companies can take to get to this true hybrid path. What does that look like?
Well, having gone through this journey with many of our clients, I can say that a lot depends on business context, legacy environments, leadership conviction. However, there are a few learnings that are generally applicable across the board. We fundamentally believe that technology decisions should be grounded in business strategy, and that hybrid strategy should be developed jointly by IT and business. There are several questions leadership can ask themselves to test whether such strategy exists and is in place and sound. First, are we clear on the ambition? Is it to hit the time to market of X days? Is it to support cost envelope of $5, etc.? Second, do we have clear view on the solution that can help us achieve this ambition? There are multiple dimensions here. Technology is important, but operating model should be front and center as well. And third, what is the optimal path to implement and sustain the solution? Another learning which I alluded to just now is that operating model is a critical part of a solution. At times, companies fully focus on technology and omit things like changes required to the talent profile, work structure and accountabilities, and ways of working.
Now, these are great to hear and kind of very valuable for our customers as they're thinking about their journey. So what should CIOs keep in mind as they plan for this future?
Well, CIOs need to start viewing true hybrid as a target state, at least for the next 5 to 10 years, and optimize around it. As I mentioned, more than 50% of companies expect to adopt hybrid cloud in the next 5 years, and 90% of incremental IT spend will be on cloud computing. On top of that, COVID-driven complexities need to be accounted for, so things like affordable cost envelope and scalability of the infrastructure. In summary, all this makes it very hard for CIOs to place the right bets. Our advice is to define sound hybrid strategy jointly with business, keeping in mind elements that go beyond technology, for example, operating model, and stay true to the strategy even in the turbulent times.
Absolutely. Now, Bill, thank you again for sharing your real world experiences and insights into hybrid cloud, and particularly this true hybrid, which I really like. And I love the practical guidance on how customers can start doing this today. Thanks again.
Thank you, Julia.